Leading into Passover, which is an exciting time because next week we're going to start on our counting of the Omer and the spiritual dimensions of the counting of the Omer, which is always kind of an interesting section of the year because it just brings out some ideas that we would never think of had we not done the counting of the Omer together. And this year, since we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to reserve the right to kind of use maybe not the particular dimension that's on that exact day, but to use, to kind of choose one that I think might offer us something interesting for the time. So, hello, Irene. So I'm looking forward to next week, starting that off. Chesed is the first week, love and kindness, and it's going to be beautiful to make our way through 7 weeks of doing that instead of the Torah portion. Hope you don't mind that. Maybe we'll take one of the days to do the Torah portion. Hello, Valerie, and hello, Sis. Valerie, did you have a nice day today? I'll wait for your response from that. Erev Tov from a new Jew in Olympia, Valerie writes. That's what I was getting at, so we'll see what she responds to that. We're going to talk this week, spend some time on the idea of Passover and the Seder and the holiday and what this is all about. And today we're going to talk a little bit about B'dikat Chametz, which is getting rid of the chametz, or the chametz in your house, getting rid of all the bread products in your house so that when you begin, Valerie writes, it was a wonderful day. If you don't know, she had her Beit Din today. And so it's wonderful that she was able to celebrate that today. So B'dikat chametz is when you check to make sure that all of the chametz, all of the bread products, are out of your house. And the tradition is actually to go around with a feather to make sure, and a candle at night around your house, and you go around and you make sure that all the bread is out. So for our meditation and our mindfulness thought, when you think about chametz and you think about bread products, if you think about all of that, what is it? But it's something that has risen, right? I mean, you're staying away from risen products. And when you think of that, it could lead you to the word kind of like bloated. The difference between when you eat a big piece of bread or you eat some matzah besides the, digestive issues, you'll start to feel bloated a little bit if you have too much bread, right? It would be very hard to eat enough matzah to feel bloated, although matzah brai maybe. But the idea of making sure there's no bread products, what would it mean if we did that inside of our souls? And I'm not talking about food. That what is it that's like extra that we don't necessarily need? What is it that if we shed it from us, even if we shed it for only 1 week, that it would help us spiritually? Is there something that we concentrate on that isn't worth our concentration? It's like added above and beyond what we go through in our regular life's existence? Is there something that you do that costs you more money than you want to spend? Is there a restaurant that you go to that is decadent and it is extra and beyond? Or is it just that you feel like you're doing things that are outside of what you might consider your core values, or kind of takes you out of being able to live a life that you want to live? And it could be that you don't really have much control over it, and it has control over you. I think today would be a time to think about what are those things that are kind of above and beyond or extra that are causing you strife, that are weighing you down, that are making you feel bloated or heavy, and to say, what would it mean to restrict myself from either doing those things or going to those places during this time? Would it be helpful to me? Would I learn that I don't really need it? One of the things that the pandemic did for, I think, a lot of people is it allowed us to evaluate really what's important, what's the core that makes us who we are and that we need in order to survive. For some people, they discovered that that they need to be with other people, and that is something that is incredibly nourishing. While others are like, wow, I actually feel even more nourished by the fact that I'm not with people. And that spectrum of life is probably where all of us stand. Some of us might feel a little more comfortable being alone, but still need people. And there's others that need people, but still need their time to themselves. And I think there's a spectrum of where we all end up in that area of our lives in terms of needing to be with people or not. But maybe it's that you feel like you need to go out and be with all of your different friends or all of these different people because we're coming back out into the world, when by doing that you're taking away from kind of the way you felt when you were alone and the energy that you got from that. And it could be that right now, especially when we're all kind of going back out into the world, do we have to go out into the world all at once? Do we have to see every friend? Do we have to go to every party or every celebration or every service? Or are we kind of trying to figure out that balance? Which, of course, balance is always the key to everything. So I think this week, as we begin our Passover week, the first is to get away from the excess, to get away from the edges that we don't need. Just like we clear out the bread, maybe we can clear out those things that are making us feel heavy or bloated, that aren't really the core of who we are or what we need to be doing in our lives or what we want to be doing in our lives. So there's so many different directions you can go in that, but really it's that idea, beginning with the idea of, what is it that I don't necessarily need right now, but that I've convinced myself that I need. I do this every year. I'm like, how am I going to go a week without eating bread? I do. It might be hard here or there, but you find other ways. Perhaps there are things that we do, places we go, thoughts that we think, that take up our time, an inordinate amount of our time beyond our ability to live our lives, especially if things are taking up our mind and not allowing us to live our lives, and that's excess, then it's not keeping us focused on the things that we need to do in order to find our peace, find our stillness, find our purpose. So maybe that's also part of this, is to focus in and put aside those things that are outside of what we really need to do and where we really need to go, and allow ourselves to kind of hone in on those things that are important and those things that can give us more fulfillment in our lives. So one of the best ways to get in touch with that is to go quiet, of course. And so let's get ourselves into a ready position. I kept the door open today just to allow the sounds of the outside world to come into the space. Sometimes I feel like when I close that door and I don't hear the rustling of the breeze or the birds chirping or dogs barking or even cars going by, that I feel a little disconnected, and I like to kind of exist in this place, breathing and just being, knowing that I'm part of that world as well. So we're just going to breathe regularly. We're not going to We don't have to push it. If you feel like you need to take a deep breath, please don't think, oh, he said we should just breathe normally. Whatever your body needs. If you need to take in more, I always have that yawn at some point towards the beginning. So whatever your body needs. And then take stock and notice what's happening inside of your body and outside of your body and that sound that you might be hearing. And try to make that all into, I'm existing as a human being at this very moment. I don't need to change anything. I'm okay right now. And just allow everything to be as it is for now. Once we end, we can get back to, although we might be considering that excess, but we can get back to what it is that we were doing or want to be doing. But for this time, we focus in on our breath. We focus in on the feeling in our body. And even feel how your hands are against your legs or sitting one on top of the other. How does that feel for you? Just breathing nice and easy. Feel your stomach as the breath goes in, as it releases. Are there any sounds around you that are part of your existence in space? And just imagine how you're just here as a being on this planet. Or one of us could even say, sitting here as this Jewish being on the planet, Valerie. With each breath, you can also kind of feel different parts of your body. And if there's tension there on the out breath, just release your tension. just an invitation. I'm sure your mind has taken you away from your breath, and maybe not. But for those of us where it has happened, just let's go back to our breath with love. No need to judge. How does your breath feel? as we get into our last couple of minutes together. On Tuesday, we think about the first of the priestly benedictions. May God bless you and protect you. And we ask two questions. May I feel blessed? May I feel safe? May I feel safe? And more important than being safe is feeling it as well. May I feel safe in my body, in my home, in my town, in my skin. May I feel safe in my mind. May I feel blessed. May I feel the blessings in my life. May I come to that realization. And perhaps today some of us feel more blessed. May I feel blessed. And may I feel safe. May I feel blessed. And may I feel safe. Just keep saying that on each breath, whether you're saying it out loud or whispering it or to yourself. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. May I feel blessed. May I feel safe. And as we reach our last final moments, let's just concentrate once again on our breath and see if we can bring ourselves to that place of stillness and being. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you were able to feel stillness and peace. May you feel blessed, and may you feel safe.